Thanks to those joining me live, to those that be joining me on Archive D-Style here. I want to thank everybody listening on Archive. If you are, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Take a moment, thumbs up that video right now. Thank you very much. And also, hit the notification. That way you're notified every time D-Style comes on live. So check it out. Check it out. This is the Trump, What Are We Going to Do with Y'all's President Hour, Volume 1. Okay? So we'll be doing several volumes of these. What are we gonna do? That's the title of the video. As I wait for people to come on live here. All right, we'll take a sip of my hot cinnamon. That's what I like to drink. I prefer that over coffee. A little bit of milk. It's pretty good. All right. Um, so a couple of things to take note, but let me first, before I even start, let me bring up the video and all that so I could see the comments, and I'll try and can't promise I'll look at every comment. I'm going to avoid comments where people are saying what's up to each other, and like, you could do that, but I'm just going to skip over those comments. So thanks to everybody joining me here. Check it out. All right. GM cuts thousands of jobs, like right out the bat, like right out of the gate. Look at this. All right. Just reported today. Look at all these headlines. GM is cutting 15% of its salaried workers, okay, and closing 5 plants, like 5 plants getting closed. All right. Well, there's your America first. All right. You know what? It's America first, but with a middle finger. Okay. That's America first for you. All right. The one is with the middle finger. That's what Donald Trump means when he says America first. Like here, America first. He does everything possible to make sure that we don't lose the arms deal with Saudi Arabia. We can't possibly murder a journalist. We can't possibly lose that. Oh no, we can't possibly do that, right? But 14,000 plus jobs being like just overnight, just like that. Boom. GM is getting rid of these. Just think about that. Well, this was before Trump, but they wouldn't even exist right now. They were bailed out. These companies failed, and the country, all right, with a surplus package, bailed them out. All right. And now they're still shipping jobs out. Why? But why? They gave corporations huge tax cuts. Well, they're going to pocket that money, idiot. You think they're going to like give workers increases? Talking about, oh, we're going to keep the jobs here. We're going to give everybody an increase on bonuses. You can get shit. Okay. Here, America first, middle fucking finger. All right. 14,000 jobs getting shipped out. Carrier, by the way, the company that Donald Trump gave, okay, corporate welfare to bribe them to keep jobs here for a couple of months, okay, just so he could do a stupid, press conference bragging about how he negotiated the jobs for 5,000 people, okay? It was less than that. It was like 500. But anyway, they shipped them out anyway. Well, so much for being a great negotiator. So much for bringing the jobs back from all these countries. So much for bringing the factory jobs back. They're not bringing shit back. All right? Nothing. They're shipping them out, folks. They're shipping them out. They've packed their shit and they're leaving. All right? Look at this announcement. Like right before Christmas is being announced, too. I mean, what a horrible time of the year to announce you're going to close like 4 or 5 plants. You're going to shut them down. Now, granted, I have my main issues with GM here. All right? It's my main issue. That's my main issue. This is what happens when you get rid of regulations. This is what happens when you give them huge tax breaks. They get rid of the jobs. Okay. This is what NAFTA did. And this is the damage NAFTA has done. This, okay? This right here. All the crap Donald Trump said he renegotiated NAFTA and he renamed the deal. So what? It didn't do anything. It did nothing. Now, are you shocked? First of all, his stupid tariffs, okay, is making steel here just cost a lot more. This is one of the businesses that just was not thriving under the Trump economy, under the Trump policies. So there we go, 14,000 GM jobs. Look at this. Unbelievable. You can't make this up. They're packing his sheet. They couldn't even wait after Christmas to make this announcement. They had to do it right after Thanksgiving. You know? Like, we're leaving, folks. Yeah, we just got a huge tax break. Like, I know that, like, the whole point, right? This is what Republicans tell people. They go, no, what we're going to do is we're going to give them a huge tax break, right? They're going to have a bigger tax break than regular people, right? Than us. Like, if you make $50,000 a year, okay, you don't get that big of a tax break. You still pay a higher percentage. And you know, let's make it even better. The corporate tax cut is permanent. The tax cut for, you know, regular Americans, you know, after 10 years, it's going to be higher than it was before we cut it. Isn't that great? You're going to pay more in taxes than you were before they cut the tax cut. And the corporations are going to keep this tax cut, even though they're shipping jobs out. They're getting rid of the jobs. And this is in Ohio. I mean, I don't know if all the plants are in Ohio. I mean, but these people came out and they won that state for Trump because he told them, you know, Obama is getting rid of your jobs. And look at this. Now, granted, I understand that it's not like a president's decision to get rid of jobs, right? I get that. But I'm the one that got that all along. You're a lot of you guys, a lot of y'all, and a lot of y'all's, you know, believe y'all's president, right? When he told you he's going to make sure you keep your job. There's people still waiting for their jobs. There's people that voted for Trump thinking that the factory job they lost 10 years ago is going to come back. You know, because they're tired of working at Walmart and shit, you know, and because ever since they lost that job, they got shipped out to Mexico, and now they're hating Mexicans and shit. Okay. And then they're still waiting for their job. Like they think, you know, that if they shoot people at the border, it's going to kill the people that are taking his job, and then they'll bring his job back. I don't know. There's dumb people that think that way. All right. You have people still waiting, right, for Trump to bring their jobs back. Like, and by the way, factory jobs that don't exist anymore. A lot of these blue collar jobs are like, it's not that, yeah, they shipped them out to invest money in machines that will start doing your work. All right. Now, do I feel sorry for the Trump voters that trusted this imbecile and believed him when he told them, I'm going to make sure I'm going to, not only are jobs not going to get shipped out, which obviously they are, right? I'm going to bring them back, right? I'm going to bring back all the jobs, he said. Like, I'm a great, and then they believed him that he's a great negotiator, right? Like, they had to believe a dude that went bankrupt, like who knows how many times. Like, oh, totally, he's a great negotiator, right? So anyway, here we are. Jobs getting shipped out. These aren't the only ones that are going to get shipped out, right? No, but they told me that it doesn't make sense. If you give a rich man a huge tax cut, he's going to start just handing out bonuses and raises to his employees and shit. Or in the case of a corporation, because, you know, they consider corporation a person, all right? All right, so that's why I'm saying person, right? But anyway, like you really believe that after this huge tax break, you know, that they gave to all these corporations, that all of a sudden, not only were they not going to ship your job out, like they were going to give you raises and bonuses, like, and you're going to be living like the Trump lifestyle. You're going to have like golden ceilings all of a sudden, you know, just because Donald Trump, you know, and the Republicans gave this huge tax break to the corporations. And not only that, got rid of so many regulations that were put in place to protect workers, to protect people, okay, from the abuses of corporations. No, no, no. I don't believe in that. The government, okay, is getting involved. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Okay? Just shut up. I mean, places like Walmart are already coming up with ways to replace employees, okay? You don't even have to stop an employee anymore to ask them where something's at. They have an app for that now. You know that? Which means they're going to cut the workforce a little bit, right? They know what they're doing, right? Soon enough, like they'll have like, instead of paying somebody to drive the dolly will drive itself. That's coming in the next, 5-6 years. The technology it's rapidly increasing, all right? So if you don't look at the progressive ideas of protecting workers and having unions and having regulations that prohibits companies from outsourcing jobs, and properly taxing them if they do so, okay? And you don't have workers' rights and just, stuff like that, things that protect your future, right? That give you if you don't fight for safety nets, it's easy to be against welfare when you're doing good. But what happens when you don't do good? It's only a matter of time since your job gets shipped out. It's only a matter of time, especially if you have a blue-collar job. It's only a matter of time, all right? But you want to empathize with the rich guys. You want to empathize with the corporations. Corporations have one motive and one motive only. It's not about morality to them. Okay, when Coca-Cola was doing this, multicultural commercial during the Super Bowl, which was nice, right? And conservatives got all mad. Like, why do they have a Muslim drinking a Coke? This is America. Like, they had oh my God, there was minorities in there as well drinking Coke. Like, like Fox News made a big deal, and it's not the America that they know, and like all this dumb shit, right? No, it's not like Coke make the moral decision. Okay, it's just that it just makes sense that you want everyone of every culture to buy your product, right? You can't limit like your product to just one thing, right? So I do in part agree with libertarians that the market itself will dictate, things and self-correct itself at some point, right? But we do need regulations because there's generations of people that can't get screwed over just because we're going to wait for the market to self-correct itself, right? We have to have things in place right now to protect not only consumers but workers, right? Washington, D.C. has made unions vulnerable. So when I saw unions, endorse Donald Trump, all I could think to myself is, you bunch of fucking morons. You're a bunch of fucking idiots. He's not going to do anything for you. He's not going to do anything. Policy-wise, he's not going to pass any bills, any regulations that are going to prevent GM from just shipping out those jobs. And by the way, how the fuck are we going to be bailing these motherfuckers out, all right? And not have something in place that says, hey, we're going to bail you out, but since Americans bailed you out, you're not going to ship fucking jobs from Americans, all right? And I'll tell you right now, I love the GM product, all right? I buy shaving GM myself, okay? But I'm like, I can't, I mean, I already own the car. It is what it is. But like, if I was thinking about buying a vehicle this weekend or in a coming year or two, or even further than that, I'm not going to buy it. All right. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. And then let me tell you something else. Okay. Before I move on from this, and I'll read some comments here. I know some genius is gonna come on here and say, but if Hillary was here, you'd have probably lost your jobs too. Oh, one, we don't know that because Hillary didn't win. Okay, we don't know that, right? But let's assume you're right. My point has nothing to do with whether Hillary would have been different. My point is that you believed, okay, or an orange orangutan, that he was going to protect your job when he doesn't have a history of protecting anybody from anything, right? This is a dude that ran a scam university, and you guys voted him in for president, okay? Because you believed why? Because especially in like the what they call the Rust Belt, and well, I don't know why they call it that. By the way, I'm from Texas. I have no idea, right? And then and like but like this like in the Midwest and the like Pennsylvania, Ohio, like those states right there, Wisconsin. You believed him when he told you he's going to make sure that your jobs come back and they're not going to ship them out and you're going to be making more money than ever. It's going to be unbelievable. Well, isn't it was unbelievable. Like the actual, dictionary term of unbelievable. It wasn't believable because it wasn't possible. Your jobs are getting shipped out. And reports are saying that they reached out to Trump and he didn't do anything. All right. Why? Because Donald Trump is surrounded by the same people that would have been surrounding Hillary Clinton. And that's what makes this shit hilarious, right? Oh, I didn't vote for Hillary because of the emails. The dude's walking around with a fucking iPhone, right? That the Secret Service or not Secret Service, I apologize, but the intelligence community has told him, you can't just be using that and making call. He's calling Putin with his fucking iPhone, all right? And you probably have like the Chinese fucking listening to these fucking phone calls, and who knows, the Saudis and shit. Okay. I mean, and then you have his daughter Ivanka using, private email. Same shit. So like, if you're gonna hold Hillary to that standard that you didn't vote for her because she used a private email, which a lot of you like don't even know the seriousness of that. You just kept hearing it over and over on Fox News, but they're using an unsecured device as well. Like they're doing it too, right? Hillary would have surrounded herself with Goldman Sachs. Okay, she would have been swimming in Goldman Sachs, waters. Well, Donald Trump is surrounded by Goldman Sachs hacks as well. All right, there's no difference there, right? He has the same. He has freaking Bolton, okay, a fucking warhawk, all right, in his fucking administration. I mean, you have to like just think about this. This dude, like this man is everything that you accuse Hillary of being. Okay, like, but anyway, my thing is that you guys put this man in this embarrassment in office, right? You put this embarrassment in office, and this is what you get. This is what you get. All right. This is what you get. At some point, everybody pays the price for what they do, especially when they know they're doing it. All right. Let me read a comment here. Donald Trump, the climate change denier, is a real TB. Dude's talking about, we're going to talk about what he said about the California fires in a little bit. What's up to Quest X? Everybody subscribe to Quest X, boxing news and entertainment. Well, it's just lost hope and lost in jobs at GM. How's that working for MAGA guys in Ohio? Yeah, make America great again. You know what happened, man, is that everything was going good, but the deep state, man, the deep state is getting rid of the GM jobs to make Donald Trump look bad. Like, these guys will not give up, right? And they're going to say that the deep state has something to do with this, okay? Like, everything that goes wrong, they say the deep state had something to do with it. Like, no matter what it is, right? They just need more coal mines. Yeah, let's just, clean coal. People can clean coal. Donald Trump literally believes that you clean the coal. I'm surprised he hasn't given them jobs that like literally like wiping the coal off of the coal. Like, man, who uses coal, man? Like, why should the rest of the country, right, still use this outdated technology? Just because a couple thousand people don't want to give up this dream of going back to the coal job, right? And then not only that, like they get sick and they get cancer and then they get I don't know if cancer is linked to that, but I do know that they get their lungs gets fucked up and they have to be taking meds. And then Obamacare was the only insurance. Okay. Well, Obamacare's not insurance, but when Obamacare came through, okay, through the Obamacare market, to be more specific, right, covered a lot of these coal miners don't have to pay for like $20,000, prescriptions because of Obamacare, but they voted for Republicans to get rid of Obamacare. Like you literally can't make this shit up. Okay, you can't make this shit just because Fox News told him because to be honest, because a black man was in office and they don't want him in office, right? And they listen to what Fox News is telling them over and over that Obamacare is bad. And okay, well now you're reaping what you sow. All right, it's just the way it is. I mean, Obamacare wasn't perfect, but it was better than nothing. I'll tell you that right now. There's a lot of issues with Obamacare. A lot of it is the Republicans, okay, still trying to kill it, trying to, make it not as effective on purpose. And Donald Trump has done that through executive orders. All it's doing is not letting sick people, okay, afford their health care, right? And if you applaud that, you're a fucking asshole, is what you are, right? All right. Here in New York, they just gave Jeff Bezos of Amazon $2 billion. Why are we giving Jeff Bezos any money? Is what I want to know, right? Why do we have to bribe these corporations to stay? Like something has to change, all right? Like this is ridiculous. FDR would be rolling over in his fucking grave right now. FDR wasn't perfect. He was a president in the early 1900s, okay? Like, I know the dude was racist and all that, but what I'm saying is that his policies, right, helped get us out of the Great Depression and, helped get this country out of the Great Depression, so, and workers and, the middle class was born under that. There was literally no middle class before that. Either you were rich or dirt poor, pretty much. Kids were working in factories, all right? So, like, a lot of things changed. Workers' rights and, just Social Security came about and Medicare. And later on, actually, Medicare. That was more like in the 60s, I believe. Okay, but it put us down that path. When Social Security was first proposed, it was more controversial than universal health care is right now, right? Now, you had Republicans literally being like, oh, FDR is a socialist. And you can actually look up pictures and they have ribbons and shit that say Social Security is socialism and, or Social Security is communism, all that same, fear mongering. Like, holy shit. So having all workers pay something into a system to have a safety net for when they have to retire and they get some type of check, okay, to live the rest of the days in some type of dignity is socialism? Well, fuck it. All right, then I guess it's not that bad then. All right. Questek says, when Trump explained in one of his rallies that clean coal was I almost died laughing. He said, they take the coal out and clean it, and his supporters were cheering. Because they're fucking morons. Okay? You know what sucks? Is that, like the way we look at, let's say politics in like the 60s, 50s, when you look back, and I forget what the name of this politician was, but I believe it was Mississippi, or if I could be mistaken. It was one of the southern states, but I do believe Alabama or Mississippi. But there was that politician, and I forget his name, And today they do documentaries about the civil rights era, and like what was going on in the South, especially. And you have that one politician that was very popular. He was like a governor, and he's like, segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Like, and all these idiots were cheering, like, yeah, woo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how embarrassing it is to be an old man today and you being one of the people that were supporting that? Okay. That's like, but anyway, the way we look at that today, That's how, like in 30, 40 years from now, right? People are going to look at Donald Trump rallies. Now, the only difference is that Donald Trump rallies are in HD, they're high definition, and we could clearly see who the fuck you are standing behind Donald Trump. So I really hope it's worth it wearing that MAGA cap right now, right? Standing in the crowd and cheering when this guy mocks disabled reporters, right? When he mocks a dead veteran that happened to be a Muslim, right? When he mocks and lies about migrants, when he calls for, you know, locking up his political opponents. Like if you're, there's not going to be, you see, maybe in black and white, you could be like, nah, son, that wasn't me. Well, you know, you could deny it maybe, right? But in crystal clear HD, you can't deny it. Like, you know, there's no turning back. Like this, like you may say, like, what are you going to say? Because this guy has been very vocal, Donald Trump. He's not speaking like in a way that you could possibly deny, right? The things this guy has said, and you had stood behind him, all right? I mean, it was questionable when he was running for president. But now, 2 years in office, if you stand behind him, okay, he's also going to look. George W. Bush is smiling, okay, from year to year, because he's no longer going to be remembered as the dumbest president that we've ever had. Like that's going to be a long memory now, right? They're going to be making fun of Trump for decades, okay, and his supporters, right? Now, there's going to be presidential debates in 40 years from now, okay, and they're going to be, you know, you're going to have Democrats accusing the Republican opponent of being the next Donald Trump, and the Republican is going to like do everything possible to show that no, I'm nothing like Trump. All right, like like for example, you know how in the year 2018, you have people that bring up the fact that the KKK used to be part of the Democratic Party like in the early 1900s up until right before the civil, especially in the South before the civil rights era, right? Well, that's how they're going to bring up Donald Trump with the Republican Party, all right? No, in 2016, the Republican Party died, and it was now the Trump Party. If you guys want, the last thing we need is another national embarrassment, right? And they're going to have to explain away, right? You're going to have Democrats unfairly accusing their opponents of being like Donald Trump, right? So that's just the way it is. This guy is an embarrassment. I am proud that my grandkids can go back to my YouTube archive and listen to the fact, okay, that their grandfather did not support Donald Trump. Okay, they could be like, nah, my grandfather was against that bullshit. Okay, in fact, let's listen to his YouTube video right now. All right. So I'm just saying, right? Let me read this comment really quick. George Wallace from Alabama said that, yeah. Segregation forever. Like, you know what I mean? That was popular then in Alabama. Just like today in Alabama, when Trump says bullshit, it's all popular, right? You could go to Alabama right now, you know, and you're going to have a hard time finding old people that will admit that they were against the civil rights, right? The Civil Rights Act. No, I was 100% behind it, but that's not really true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not true. It was unpopular in those states. In fact, because of the Civil Rights Act, Democrats have lost the South, man, for generations in presidential, presidential runs. So I'm telling you, all right. Let's see here. They will talk about the opioid crisis related to the Americans electing Donald Trump. Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't know. There was something happening in the country. This is gonna be the documentary like 40 years from now. You know, like I don't know. They're probably not even gonna have TVs. You're gonna have like those things like from Star Wars, like like I don't know how to say it. Like like the how the Sith Lord will pop up and shit like that. Okay. But anyway, they're gonna have like these documentaries, and you'll be like, yeah, there was something. We believe that there was no longer that many races, but it's just unfortunately there was a lot of hidden racism in the country. And it came out during the Trump presidency, and I can tell you they're gonna have like documentaries like that. All right, it's gonna happen. All right, Quest X. That's why after Trump, what we should do is just like LT Aldo Rain from Inglorious Bastards when he carved the Nazi symbol on their foreheads, but instead of that, we should carve M's on them. AJ says, I know people who voted for Bush back in the day who always want to change the subject when I didn't you vote for Bush comes up. Right. Like a lot of people like pretended Bush was like smart. Like I'll never forget, man. Like one of my aunts was like she was a big fan of Sarah Palin, and she swore she was a very smart lady, right? And when I would bring up why she's smart, well, she was the governor of Alaska. That was her answer to everything, right? Nobody hear what you said, like in that Katie Kirk interview. Like she said she read books, but she didn't know like she couldn't name a book. And like yeah, but she was the governor of Alaska, right? That was her answer to everything, right? But by the way, I think Trump has Sarah Palin beat, right, in the stupid category. Let's talk about the wildfires. All right. This idiot goes to California, right? And he's talking about how we need to rake the floors of the forest to prevent wildfires, right? Now, granted, never mind the hundreds of thousands of square miles and how impossible. Like everyone in California will literally have to quit their job and prioritize like most of their day to go rake forests. Okay. And they probably wouldn't get to rake the entire forest. All right. So the logistics in that is just, it's, and the thought of that is just embarrassing. Right. Okay. Now nobody's saying not maintaining the forest and stuff like that. I get it. Okay. When people go camping, there's rules, don't throw trash, etc. You can't do campfires in this time of year or if it's dry. I get all that. There is management with it, but that's the federal government owns the forests of California. So it's actually Trump's job to oversee that and fund that, but he cut the funding, right? He cut funding for that because there's not enough money in the budget because he's actually doubled, okay, our deficit because they said that once we give tax cuts to the rich, we're actually going to have more money come in. Well, that doesn't even make sense. All right. Of course, more money is not going to come in. Okay. When the 1% get a huge tax break. All right. And by the way, think about it. Look at the sound of the term. It's called a tax break. It doesn't sound like when you tell someone, hey, give me a break. Like, hey, like, help me out. Oh, yeah. Like, because these multi-billion-dollar corporations, they really need our help. Like, it's embarrassing. But anyway, he's in California after criticizing California. Now, why is he criticizing California? Because he lost the state. Okay. Like he lost the state by like 2 million votes or something embarrassing like that. So, of course, he holds a grudge. And now any adult knows that, except the MAGA people who swear, right, that they don't see this. Like, I don't see him having an issue with California at all. Like, yeah, sure. Okay. So anyway, so he's there and he's talking about raking the floor. Now, first of all, the proper term would actually be raking the ground, right? But it's but that's not here nor there. And then he lies and he says that the president of Switzerland told him that they rake the floors in their country, and that stops all the wildfires. Well, the president of Switzerland came out and said, I had no such conversation with him, and I never made such claim. Right? So he lied. Like oh, he always does. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Okay, he rambled like for 10 minutes. What he was saying made no sense. Nothing coherent. And you had like the people like always see that anytime Donald Trump talks, look at the people around him, how they try to their best to like not make a face or give a reaction, right? Because nowadays everybody knows like if for a second you give like the what the fuck face, like that's going to be on CNN wall to wall coverage for the next 3 days. You know, so they try their best. Look at Pence. Look at his cabinet members, whoever works for him when he's rambling. Look at them. It's quite a sight to see. Like they have developed this poker face when Donald Trump is talking, right? And they've also developed like a poker face to a point where he's saying incoherent ramblings. He says something stupid. They have absolutely like no reaction. And then when he says something like America first, like there's certain trigger words like America first or make America great again, or we're gonna do it for we're gonna help our country, or like something like that. Like they'll nod, because they've been programmed. They've like programmed themselves to be poker faced when he's saying stupid shit. But when it says his generic pro-American thing, they just program themselves to just nod their heads. All right. And I think they do it because once the day comes, because it comes for all of them, that they either get fired or Trump embarrasses them because he tells them to say one thing and he says something else, later on, so, and he blames them and then he fires them. It's like an ongoing thing. They can always come back and say, look, I never approved of the things he was saying, blah, 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 All right. Well, you guys got to try. I don't know how many of you, I know there's a lot of coffee drinkers out there, even hot tea, but hot cinnamon, man, it's really, really good. Okay. With a little bit of milk, it's really, really good. Okay, that's my drink. Right. Let's read some comments here. Age of 10 with the Bushy style, the dinosaurs were able to rake the forest just fine. It was Finland, not Switzerland. I apologize. My bad. It was Finland. You know what? I did say Finland. Fake news, Joe Lopez. Joe Lopez is spreading fake news. I never said Switzerland. I said Finland. Like, this is also the era of like doubling down when you're wrong. Like, what's going on with this? And this is not just politics; it's everybody. Like, let's just double down on everything. Like you're caught red-handed being wrong. Double down. Never admit you're wrong. That's the Trump presidency in a nutshell. Like it's crazy, right? Like he could get caught on. Like he'll say something on camera in a rally, right? He's called out on it later, and then he says he never said that it's fake news. Dude, it's on video. Like you're on tape saying it. Like, what do you mean? Right? Oh man. That's crazy. What else? Let's talk about and I know that's what a lot of people want to know. I live in a border town. Nothing's happened here actually, but in Tijuana, and that's kind of where San Diego is, over there in California. I have some mixed thoughts on this, okay? First, Trump's not making the situation better, he's making it worse. Okay? And he's making it worse so he can look tough for his stupid supporters. That's all it is. All right. Like his tweets and all that really don't play a role here, but he's just making the situation worse. And he's blatantly lying to people, and he knows his supporters will believe him, and he knows that his base feels strongly about this, so he wants to look like he's enforcing what he promised he would enforce, right? So we all know about the caravans that are coming. Okay, now the American troops had nothing to do with this. They were just like a pawn and a ploy and all that. But let me say this, okay? There's been a lot of coverage about the tear gas situation. And while it definitely looks bad, throwing tear gas at kids and children, but that doesn't tell the whole story, right? So let's backtrack a little bit. First, Donald Trump lied, saying that he had a deal with Mexico that they're going to hold him until judges can see the people seeking asylum, right? Now, they're seeking asylum with the U.S. Why would Mexico hold and take care of those people in the meantime. That makes no sense. Okay. Surrounding Tijuana, they have 5,000 migrants there. All right. So Tijuana has a budget, man. Like there's only so much they can afford. So he's calling this humanitarian crisis, wants the UN involved, and I think they should. I think the UN should get involved. I think other countries should kind of, I guess, all pitch in, if you want to call it that, to help in the meantime anyway, short term, take care of these migrants. Right? That's number one. Number two, some of these migrants, okay, from some reports, right, we're told that it's the Mexican government keeping you here, but if you run to the border, they're gonna open the gates for you. The Americans are, right? Now I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that might be true, but I'm not sure. But what I do know is that there was some migrants, and these are not Mexican, but these are like from Honduras and other countries that tried to they ran to the border and just tried to climb over the fence and get in the U.S. Right? Well, you can't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, like, we don't know who the fuck you are. You know, so there's no way that cannot be allowed. Right? So in that case, I don't have and there was a lot of them, so I don't have an issue with them not being allowed in. Like, you know, like I don't have an issue with that. Okay, whether the tear gas was necessary or not, what I will say is that hey, look, it happened. Okay, luckily nobody got hurt that I know of. At least no major injuries or something like that. Okay, we have to get a process that will not even get to that point. But Trump closing the entire border was stupid. Okay, there are people that conduct legal business crossing the borders, and they cross illegally, right? Like, why are you punishing people that are doing business legally, crossing borders, and also people that, you know, they cross? There's people that live in Mexico and they have legally acquired work visas to work in the U.S. Like, they had to call off work if they were not able to cross the border. When this was not this is crazy, right? Now Trump did it to show how strong he is, but that's not strong. That's stupid, right? A lot of these MAGA supporters don't know what strength is. What's strong about this guy? He dodged the draft, man. Okay, he's scared of a fucking little bird, like an eagle, like in his fucking desk, and right when a dude was trying to climb the cage and not the cage, the stage, and he had Secret Service surrounding him, and he acted like a scared little child. This guy doesn't have a brave bone in his body, right? He's an insecure little man. But anyway, like that just wasn't necessary, right? It wasn't. Now, I'm not gonna go as far. Like, look, like I know a lot of my liberal friends out there will be like, oh, just let them all in. Like we have a process, and I like the process is fine. Someone should be able to come. We have a legal asylum process. Okay, if they see someone from the U.S., like an agent or something, a border patrol agent, customs, whatever it is, they tell them we're seeking asylum, right? They take them in, all right, and then they eventually see a judge, and the judge determines whether or not, okay, they have a valid, reason to seek asylum, and also to confirm that they are who they say they are. And if they don't, we deport them and we send them back to their country. All right. If they have a criminal past, and we deport them and we send them back to their country. So when you hear Donald Trump say, like, oh, we're not going to let, criminals, into our country. Like, is there some criminals in a caravan of 5,000? I'm pretty sure there is. Maybe someone that's committed crimes in Honduras. I'm sure. Right. But that they have to foresee a judge, okay? So it's not like we're just going to throw them into American society, all right? So he's politicizing this whole thing, right? Fox News is politicizing this. It's been politicized. There's been caravans coming here forever. Now, if anybody is serious about stopping the caravans, all right, then we need to hit the root of the problem, which is the war on drugs. All right. And until we fix this war on drugs, These caravans are not going to stop. Okay, it's only a matter of time, all right, before Border Patrol shoots bullets at a kid. Okay, it's only a matter of time before a little girl gets shot. So it's only a matter of time, and it's just not going to be a good look, right? And then you're going to look like assholes, man. Oh, well, they shouldn't have come here legally. Like what's it? It's a little girl, dude, right? Like I know a lot of you think that you're better than everybody else because you came out of a vagina in the U.S. Okay, that doesn't make you better than everybody, right? All right. Now, those are my thoughts on that. All right, those are my thoughts on that. I consider myself pretty strict with the border. Like I don't believe we should just let everybody in, but I do believe we do have a process, and I don't have a problem with that process. Okay, let them seek asylum, right? And then at that point, we'll see what we can do. Like you know what I mean? We can't. Of course, it doesn't mean that we just can't have somebody trying to climb over the fence, and we just can't have that. All right, that's not gonna. We're not gonna roll with that. At least I'm not. All right. This process to get in. If you're here to seek asylum, let's let these people seek asylum. And if they're not who they say they are, or we don't feel they need asylum, deport them back to the country. It's that simple, right? Tell them, hey, don't come back. Your asylum is not approved. We're going to send you back. And that's it. We have a legal process for that. Trump is making it seem like we don't have a process for that. Okay, Trump is just making this political. It's a bunch of brown people, and he knows a bunch of races in the country don't want him in. Okay, he's fear-mongered them. Okay, Republican Party for decades has been telling them that they're the ones taking your job, and they're raping your women, and they're doing this and that. Okay, so of course you have a segment of the country that has this like disdain for for migrants, right? That come from south of the border. Donald Trump's, mother was a migrant who was not didn't have papers, and okay, she came here by boat, and she came to the U.S. and seeked asylum. They gave her asylum, right? There's been generations of people that have gotten that, right? But for some reason, right? We're just at this point. Donald Trump is just politicizing the thing. That's what's going on. I mean, that's just the reality. So he makes people vote for that. There's people that went to vote in fear of these 5,000 migrants, right? They're going to come in. They're going to invade the country. They voted for that. Meanwhile, they can't afford health care, right? And if they get a tumor next year, right, they're going to die. Simple as that. Number one killer of this country, people that don't have health care. People not having health care. Very chaotic in Tijuana right now. The asylum process takes time, but it should take place. Yeah, I mean, first of all, when someone says, man, we got to stop these caravans, I agree 100%, right? Like, I do. Because that's 5,000 at a time. That's a lot, right? So there's something, but it's plain politics and fear mongering isn't going to fix it. It's what we need to do. All right, like really simple. Is we have to reform this war on drugs, and in turn, like if we did this, I'm telling you, a lot would be fixed. Okay, one. You get rid of the war on drugs. That's number one. That's going to weaken the cartels. It's going to weaken, gangsters in places like Honduras, and then, you help countries like Honduras fund their police departments and stuff like that to have law and order in their country. Okay, at a reasonable rate. I'm not saying like martial law. Don't get me wrong, right? but where you don't want, when the drug lords have better guns than the police and outnumber the police, and the drug lords have armored vehicles, but the police don't, that's just the problem. Okay? That's not a good thing. So that has to be reversed. Okay? And that will stop a lot of the chaotic mess that's going on over there. And I'm not saying that there's going to be no more caravans or no more illegal immigrants, because people are still going to come to seek work, right? But we could manage that. And there's ways to get proper work visas for people. And for work visas, I think we should speed up that process. For people that have no interest in becoming citizens, they just want work visas, all right? For jobs that are not being filled here, like, like in crop fields and stuff like that, then we should be able to let those people in, work, and then tax them, so we make money off of that technically, right? So they pay tax, and they don't get any benefits, or they're just here to work, right? They don't get Social Security. They pay into it, but they don't get it. They pay towards Medicare, but they don't get it. Medicaid, they don't get it, right? So I think that's just a better option, So if we speeded up the process of work visas, like have people come in, we'll, whatever. Okay, you have a work permit here to work. All right, done. Like, but you're not a citizen, fine. That means they can't vote, or so like there's stuff they can't do, right? But get them a work visa. Let them be able to apply for some type of working license, to get a driver's license. It's just things we can do. And again, these are things they pay into, right? If you have hundreds of thousands of immigrants, paying for, work permits, and, they got to go get a temporary driver's license or something like that. You got to pay $25 for that. That's money for the state. That generates money. When you tax them, that's money for the federal government. Like you're talking about moneymakers here, and also to help fill in some jobs that nobody's taking. As far as asylum seekers, we need to improve the conditions of those countries, because we are contributing to it. The war on drugs is contributing, okay, to a lot of these people seeking asylum. That's just the truth. So we can reduce that would be great, right? But what can I say? Boxing Junkie, seeing what's up, what's going on. Well, we're talking about several things here. Joe Lopez, I wonder who's responsible for these caravans. People are just coming here seeking asylum. That's it. Now, granted, right, of the 5,000 that are coming, let's say like 2,000 of them are legitimately coming here seeking asylum. Of course, there's people that tag along, and they're going to claim that they're just seeking asylum and stuff like that. Of course. And then there's going to be some bad apples in that group, and troublemakers in that group, and people with good intentions in that group. And, all of a sudden you have a caravan of 5,000 people. That's why we have a vetting process. That's why they got to go before a judge. Like, like we don't just let them in. Like the way Republicans make it sound is that we just open the gate and just let them walk in. And then now you're free to just roam around. That's not the way it works. That's not what happens. That's not the process. Right? So when Trump says things like, well, Democrats, they're for open borders, just let everybody in. Like, that's just not true. We don't have an open border. We have border patrol. We have customs. We have immigration officials. They check every vehicle that crosses the border. It needs to be checked by customs. All right? We have a fence. Okay, we have barbed wire around in front of the fences. This idea that we have an open border it's a lie. It's not true. All right. If that's an open border, I don't know what is it when there is no border? Like, what do you call that? But yeah, I know Boxy Junkie came in. GN, look at this. Look at these headlines. 14 14,000 jobs lost. Man, 14,000 people are going to get laid off soon. Now, their jobs are getting shipped out. That sucks, bro. Okay? That sucks. That sucks balls. Crazy. Folks wondering, well, why do they ship them out? You know, they got a big tax cut. They're making profits. Well, because, all right, it's just cheaper to do it somewhere else. I mean, it's honestly, all right. It costs them, like, they'll rather pay, all right, some old lady over there in, I don't know, Taiwan, okay, to do what you're doing here, okay? Doesn't have to be an old lady, whoever. The same job. Let's say your job is to put a bolt on the side of the door. I don't know, whatever the fuck you do, okay? Or sew some leather together for leather seats or something like that. Let's say that's your job, all right? And they pay you $19 an hour, and you can have health benefits, dental, right? And then top of that, if you work overtime, you got to pay you time and a half, and you know what I mean. If it's holiday, they got to give you the day off and pay you for the day, even though you're not doing anything. You know, you have benefits. You know, they got to give you vacation time. You know, like all all that good stuff that progressives fought for, right? So that's the reason, and you're welcome, all right? But I guess you'll then turn around and say, but see, you're the reason we lost our jobs. Because over there in Taiwan, right, or wherever, Mexico, you name it, they'll build a factory there, right? And they'll pay them like $2 an hour, no health benefits, no dental, no vacation time, no paid holiday, no PTO time, right? No time and a half after 14 hours, none of that. Right? And the country they live in, they need this money to eat. Like this is their eating money. This is their rice money, right? This is how they're going to buy the vegetables, and they're still struggling, right? So they probably work harder than you, right? They don't got to give them a 15-minute break every 2 hours, an hour lunch break. Or they probably give them like 10 minutes to eat. Hurry up and eat, and they come back. They get more production time from them, right? They have no rights over there as employees. There's no FMLA time. Okay, there's no bereavement. Like, your dad dies, and they might give you the day off for the funeral. That's it. You want another 2 days to mourn? Nah, get your ass over here to work, right? So what happens? More production time, less money, no benefits. Well, what do you think? I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, if they're not stopping you from doing it, why wouldn't you do it? If you're a corporation, your whole deal, all your corporate meetings are based around how are we going to make more profit? So why wouldn't you do it if there's no one stopping you from doing it? Now, if Congress passed laws, especially when they build them out, that's the kicker, right? They got bailed out, and then you would think it would be like, we're going to bail you out, but you can't ship jobs out anymore. Like some conditions, you know what I mean? That they had all the leverage in the world. Like you had GM executives and Ford and Dodge executives, right? Or Chrysler or whatever. You had them over there begging for us to bail them out, right? They were begging for it. Okay, that would have been a perfect time, but no, they didn't do anything. Washington, D.C. didn't do anything, right? Let's just bail them out. The same with Wall Street. And oh well, it always happens. Look at Wall Street. Wall Street crashed when they were getting all their big tax cuts. Like, oh yeah, consumer confidence is up. We're with Bush. Yeah, we got tax cuts. Fuck you liberal motherfuckers trying to tax us. Got more money in my check. Look at me, I got more money in my check. And what happened? Fucking economy crashed the way it always crashes. The way it always fucking crashes, it crashed. People are going to lose everything. People are going to lose their 401ks. Okay, all the savings you had. People lost jobs. It was horrible. Like hundreds of thousands of jobs being lost. Like every quarter. It was insane. Right? And then what happened? They bailed them out. Right? And they were okay with everything for a time. Right? Like, oh, no. We won't ask for anything ever again. Please help us. We've learned the error of our ways. Right? It was so bad that Bush's popularity was in the tank. He wasn't popular at all, actually. Disapproval rating was high. It's crazy. What happened? A couple years later, it's like they forgot that they were bailed out. All right? People just forgot that there was a recession that happened, okay, because of those policies. And then what happened? In 2016, you have a bunch of people going around, oh, I'm going to vote because I want a tax cut. Let's give a tax cut to corporations. Let's give a tax cut to everybody, right? You know what are the only ones that didn't get a tax cut? You want to know? If you're an entrepreneur and you make like $200,000 a year or $100,000 something like that, you're going to pay more in taxes. Isn't that crazy? Like, isn't that insane? Because I guess according to the tax bill that Trump put out, if you're making over 100,000 or something, then you're good. Like you don't need help. But the multi-billion-dollar corporations, they need help. So we got to give them a tax cut. And this is what they say every time. It never fails. What we're going to do is we're going to give them a tax cut. Okay, and then with that money, right, that they used to pay taxes with, what they're going to do with that money, okay, they're going to hand out bonuses and raises and they're going to create more jobs because they have the money to pay those people. Is that like? And then you still have people that believe that, even though it never happens. It literally never happens that way. But you have people that have that philosophy. It's insane, right? So what's happening? It doesn't matter. You know what they do with that extra money? They just count it as profit. That's it. They haven't stopped trying to find a way to cut jobs. Every corporation is trying to find a way to cut the workforce. Their workforce. If they can get 10 people to do the same job that 12 people can do, they're going to do it. Okay? It's just the way it is. Every factory job, they're coming up with a machine that's going to reduce the factory workers from 1,000 to 950. Right? Because that's 50 less people now that they're going to be paying. And they're going to come up with something else that's going to reduce it to 920, right? And then if it gets to a point where they're like, you know what? It's easier to manage the last 200 if we those 200 are no longer needed at the site. We'll just keep the machines to finish the rest of the work, but we're going to pay 200 people in Mexico instead to do that part of the labor. So it'll be a machine-only factory or whatever the case is. Yeah, people sitting around in their porch in rocking chairs wearing a red trucker's cap that says "Make America Great Again." Okay, you have people sitting around in their porch right now waiting for their outdated job to come back. And like a job that doesn't exist anymore. That person, like I said earlier, hates brown people that are coming in the caravans because he believes they're the ones that have taken his job, even though it doesn't exist anymore. You have coal miners that somehow believe coal is going to make a comeback. Like they believe this. Coal's not coming back. And then like they'll elect people that lie to them. And they'll even say it. Like I saw a documentary, like I think it's on Vice, where people are like, well, they should at least have the decency. I vote for the ones that have the decency to lie to me. Why do you want people to lie to you? Vote people that are not lying to you to see what they can do. All right? Trump was out there wearing like one of those helmets that coal miners wear, and he's like, yeah, I love coal, and you have the idiots cheering. We're gonna bring back coal. Yeah, like coal used to be a big thing. You know, we would heat up our homes with coal, and we would, I guess trains would use coal, but everything's different now. You know, but anyway. That's all I got to say, guys. For those listening live, take a moment, thumbs up the video. I'm just wondering when the fuck he is making the country great again. I don't know. Build another private prison. Yeah, there we go. 14,000 jobs lost. Not a good for Trump. And they're GM jobs, too. Insane. And again, that's not counting the other jobs that are being shipped out. The only reason GM's in the headlines is we built them out a while back. Anyway, this is D-Style, guys. Those that just came in, you can come back. Listen to the rest of the video on archive. I'm out.